We're at Museo Nacional Centro Arte Reina Sofia, and we can't wait to go in. Come join us. The Reina Sofia Museum was inaugurated in 1992. It focuses on art from the 20th and 21st century.
The museum is housed in an old neoclassical building that used to be Madrid's General Hospital.
It now houses over 17,000 pieces of art.
It includes the works of some of our favorites: Pablo Picasso, Salvador Dali, Juan Miró, René Magritte, in addition to lesser-known painters. The exhibits also include photography.
I love these dramatic black and white photos.
There's also sculpture, film, serigraphs, and so much more.
Are those circus posters?
There's no time, price, or date, so maybe they're just meant to have that feel.
There's a whole cubism wing and a surrealist wing too. This museum is a dream come true. My dream come true.
One of the most important paintings here is Guernica by Picasso. It's the artist's response to the bombing of the Basque town of Guernica by the German and Italian air forces at the request of Franco and the Spanish nationalists.
The painting really captures the anguish of this mother.
And the horrors of war. Although we were allowed to film in other parts of the museum, certain salons tend to get particularly crowded, and the museum prohibits videotaping or photos of those pieces.
Guernica is one of those. So Greg snuck a little footage, but he got caught by a guard.
Hey!
Eventually, I started to get a little bit tired and told Greg it was time to leave.
Ha!
He started crying.
Wow. I could have spent the whole day in this museum. But no, I had booked a ghost tour for us that evening, so I didn't want us to be too tired for all the walking that was still to come.
We walked back to Estación del Arte and took the metro back home.
At nightfall, we met up with our fellow ghost walkers. Our guide tells us the story of a woman who took a late-night metro. When she first stepped into the car, she thought she was completely alone. A few seconds later, she looked up and to her surprise, she saw other passengers seated directly across from her, an old woman and two men. The old woman just stared menacingly at her, while the men looked away, seeming to be lost in thought. At the next stop, a man climbed aboard, sat next to the young woman, and said to her in a hushed tone, "Do you see them? Don't look at her face. Just get off at the next stop with me."
It was late at night and this man was a stranger. I'm not sure I'd do what he asked.
The woman decided that she was less frightened of the man than of the spooky old lady, so they hurried off the train and out of the station, and when they finally surfaced to street level, the man told her that he was a medium and that the woman on the train was dead. In fact, all three travelers were dead, the woman and her two companions.
We knew that was coming. People were buried in there too, right?
Well, there were the bones of several monks discovered here during renovation of the subway. It turns out this area used to be a cemetery for a monastery. Rather than make a fuss, the engineers just decided to throw the bones into a hole and cover them over with the subway tiles. Anyone who's ever seen the movie Poltergeist knows that this is a bad move.
La Casa de las Siete Chimeneas was a private residence built in the 16th century. At the time, this was a largely wooded area. It was pretty remote. And King Philip II, Felipe II, used to come out here to hunt. He had a really good friend, his companion, his hunting buddy, who had a young, beautiful daughter named Elena. She was a teenager, she was sweet, and she soon became very friendly with the king.
The king was rumored to have an amorous interest in Elena. Nonetheless,
the king decided that he was going to be her personal Tinder.
He decided to play matchmaker.
And he hooked her up with a very handsome young captain named Capitan Zapata.
As a wedding gift, Elena's father gave the couple La Casa de las Siete Chimeneas. King Felipe II gave the couple 7 gold coins.
Anyway, I don't think the king expected the outcome, but Elena and Captain Zapata hit it off. They were the it couple of their time.
Perhaps not what the king had in mind. Doña Elena and Capitan Zapata were in the middle of wedded bliss, but it didn't last long because the king ordered the Capitan to go to the Battle of San Quintin in Flanders. Unfortunately, just a few weeks later, the captain was killed in action. Elena was inconsolable.
She was devastated. She was a mess. She threw herself into her sorrows. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't sleep. Her friends, her family, even the servants started to worry about her because she was once this gorgeous, vibrant woman, and now she was looking very drawn. She was just not herself.
Her once lovely appearance began to deteriorate.
Even the king became concerned, so he decided to go out and visit Elena and offer his personal condolences. But Elena was furious with the king. She accused him of having sent her husband to his death. She took the 7 gold coins that had been given to them during their wedding ceremony and she threw them at the king. The king was dumbstruck. What the fuck? Well, maybe he didn't say that.
He was dumbstruck, horrified, and deeply offended, and fled the house quickly. One day, Elena went missing from the house, although no one had seen her leave. A search party was quickly organized by family and friends, and no one could find her anywhere, although they looked everywhere. Eventually, the king himself requested an investigation.
A short time later, people started reporting seeing Elena's ghost. She was dressed in a white gown, and she would point towards the Alcazar, which was the king's home, wordlessly accusing him of murdering her husband.
The mystery of Elena's disappearance was never solved, and ghost stories continued for decades.
Fast forward 300 years, it's now 1881, and La Casa de las Siete Chimeneas is being renovated.
In the middle of a reconstruction of the Casa, workers uncover the skeleton of a woman dressed all in white, and the thing that identified her, 7 gold coins by her body.
We had a great time walking around listening to ghost stories. Thank you, Madrid, for sending us off with fireworks.
Actually, Spain was celebrating El Día de la Hispanidad.
We were told it was a celebration of Hispanic Hermanidad, or brotherhood.
As Chicanos, we couldn't help but have our own perspective on it. The Spanish conquest of people all over the world is the reason why so many non-Europeans are considered Hispanic.
We do understand this renaming or reframing of what used to be called Columbus Day, but I'm afraid I can't celebrate it with the same enthusiasm that the locals do.
Alice and I truly enjoyed our visit to Spain and getting to know this country, the culture, the history. We also know through our DNA testing that we're split down the middle. Our roots span the Americas as well as Europe.
One culture is not superior to the other. We may not have made the decisions that we definitely would not have made the same decisions that our ancestors did, but it's because of them that we're here, and we're grateful for that and want to respect our roots.
We hope that you've enjoyed sharing our travels and our voyage of discovery in Spain.
If you have, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.
We post videos every Thursday, so hit that notification bell and you won't miss out.
Agur!
Hello, my name is Nuria Net. I'm the lead producer of the podcast Punk in Translation, Latinx Origins. Being punk is being free, and we couldn't tell the story of punk's Latinx origins without telling the story of the LGBTQ community. Thank you, Kid Congo Powers. Thank you, Leti Martinez. Thank you, Alice Back, for sharing your stories. Thank you to our team, my partner Alex, our scriptwriter Judy, Audible, Fresh Produce. Gracias. Y que viva el punk!